Pac-Man is one of the most versatile characters in Smash Ultimate. His fruits, hydrant and even trampoline allow for a ton of unique and weird interactions. Over the past months, Pac-Man players have discovered some really cool tricks, which you might have already seen a few times, either in tournament or one of our Smash review episodes. I'm C5 from the Beefy Smash Dudes, and here are a couple of Pac-Man's coolest tricks and how they work. Huge shoutouts to John Barrett and Skye for helping us out with this video. Now let's start with Pac-Man's fruits. On specific stages, Pac-Man can perform something called fruit teleportation. With a fruit in hand, jump towards a slope below the stage. Throw the fruit upwards against it, but instead of bumping into the stage, the fruit will appear besides the ledge, flying upwards. It works best on Lilat crews with Pac-Man's fruits, but can also work on other stages that have a slope leading to the ledge or with a few other items. Surprise your opponent when you are off stage and they try to chase after you or guard the ledge. By the way, the best way to get one of Pac-Man's fruits into your hands as an actual throwable item is by hitting either an opponent or their shield with it while being close enough to run after and catch it. This also works against your hydrant or against its water. The melon, Galaga and bell can also be re-caught without hitting an opponent first. And if you throw the Galaga from the right distance while standing below a platform, it does this and comes right back to you almost perfectly. Look at this backflip. Doesn't it have swag? It's called a platform drop cancelled up air and is done by pushing down to drop through the platform and immediately perform an up air. Because Pac-Man moves up a bit during this move, he will land on the platform again right afterwards. This next trick is called Ignis. If you hit an opponent while they are stunned from Pac-Man's bell, the knockback angles from the bell and your attack combine, which can lead to some pretty cool kill confirms that would otherwise not be possible. In this case, the bell knocks Mario away from Pac-Man. Run through him, turn around and hit a forward air, basically trying to knock him into the opposite direction. The two knockback angles add together, resulting in Mario flying straight upwards, allowing Pac-Man to follow with a very high up air. The bell's knockback depends on where the opponent gets hit. If you hit them from behind, you can do the same trick with a regular forward air. One of Pac-Man's most famous tricks is fruit launching. For this, you make use of the hydrant's water to push your projectile with immense speed. The hydrant will always shoot out water to its sides as long as Pac-Man isn't standing on it. If he stands on it, the hydrant shoots the water out on top. Sometimes, for some reason, the hydrant doesn't follow these rules, but we don't really know why that is. Anyways, for fruit launching, time the fruit throw so that the water accelerates them. The different fruits have different effects, and there is more than just one way to do it. You can throw fruits towards the hydrant, away from the hydrant, Z-drop them by pressing grab in the air, or even throw them upwards to really f with your opponent. If you do that, it's practical to also redirect the water upwards. This is possible by shielding next to the hydrant. If you tilt the shield downwards, the water will fly up with an even steeper angle. It will not work if you stand too close to the hydrant though, or if your shield is too small. And if you stand on top of the hydrant, roll to a side and tilt the shield upwards, the water will get redirected horizontally. This also only works with a medium-sized shield. Since the bell goes through the stage, you can do the same trick by throwing it towards the hydrant while being off stage. Let's talk some more about the hydrant. Not just items can get a momentum boost, but Pac-Man himself as well. If you run towards the hydrant, so Pac-Man slightly goes through it, as soon as you stop, the game will push Pac-Man out again, away from the hydrant. You can use this push to gain some decent momentum. By jumping and air dodging away, you can fly for a pretty big distance. Air dodge into the ground to get a super wave dash. It also works by only jumping backwards or simply running. Make sure to push the control stick away from the hydrant in the same moment you jump. When staying on the ground, you have to release the stick first before pushing into the other direction for the boost. The water can help and push you even farther, but the driving force here is the hydrant itself, not the water as you might think. An even better setup is to put the hydrant down on the very edge, then run down and roll into it. Now push forward with the right timing and you will get boosted forward. The correct timing is important here. If the hydrant is on a ledge, you can also get a boost after your ledge jump. Simply jump from the ledge and input an aerial while holding forward, or do a forward item throw. It does work with any aerial, but up air covers by far the most distance. If you put the hydrant down a little further away from the ledge, you can do the same trick into the other direction. Other characters can also do all of that, by the way. The same mechanic comes into play during this back throw, which actually has a lot more knockback than Pac-Man's regular back throw should have. With the right distance from the hydrant, if you back throw your opponent, they will again find themselves inside the hydrant for just a moment, so the game pushes them out while you throw them back, resulting in the strongest back throw in the game at certain percent. Sadly, this trick only works against fatties at very specific percent, making it really situational. If you stand on top of the hydrant and get a grab, you can do some more weird stuff. For some reason, the knockback of down throw gets reduced drastically. Additionally, the water pushing Pac-Man into the air cancels any lag he has, allowing him to immediately follow up. With certain fruits in hand, this combo can even be fatal. It can also work for other throws, but is only true at very specific percent. Make sure you time the throw so the water pops out right after Pac-Man threw his opponent away. The hydrant can also stop characters that get knocked into it mid-air, and Pac-Man can use that to his advantage. It applies to any knockback that is weak enough, but works best in combination with Pac-Man's down throw while the hydrant is standing on a platform. After the down throw, your opponent will stay close to you, putting a lot of pressure on them and potentially giving you a tag chase if they don't jump away. A big part of using the hydrant well is knowing when and how you can knock it over and how you can manipulate the direction it flies into. The hydrant has a specific amount of health. Once it receives enough damage, it goes flying. What Pac-Man players often want to achieve is to get the hydrant's health as low as possible so that the next hit will knock it over. This is called priming. Once the hydrant is primed, meaning its health is very low, your next attack will knock it over. So knowing the best methods for priming the hydrant is important. Back air works very well, either while running off the hydrant or while landing on it right after down B. This one is hard though. You need to have the right distance from the ground, use down special for the hydrant, hold the control stick forward while performing a back air with the C stick. The timing is very strict, but if done right, you will land with the back air sweet spot on the hydrant. Neutral air is also good for priming and works while landing on the hydrant. Hitting it while running off the hydrant is also possible, but very hard to get. Up air while running off the hydrant works too. For this one, you have to wait a moment after running off before starting the up air and drift back towards the hydrant as much as possible. Dash attack works. The good thing here is that the water won't push you away. And 2 forward airs can also work for priming, although that is a rather slow method. Okay, now that the hydrant is low on health, we can talk about attacks that give us the most spicy knockback angles, the ones that keep the hydrant around for a while, making it hard for your opponent to deal with. Up air sends the hydrant upwards a bit, slowly moving forward. You can use the late hitbox behind Pac-Man to get the hit easier. The apple also sends it upwards, but knocks it much higher. The first hit of up smash will completely knock it behind you. And the tip of your jab also sends it behind you, but with less speed. You have to hit the tip, otherwise the hydrant won't move backwards. Now, for the jab to work, the hydrant's health has to be really low, which means that it only works after back air or 2 forward airs. After the other priming setups, the hydrant still has too much health for one jab to knock it over, so you might have to use 2 jabs. There is another way to send the hydrant flying backwards, but that one needs a specific timing. The goal is to knock the hydrant over with a fruit right as it shoots out water. You can do that by simply waiting for the right moment, but it's easier if you use a setup for it. One way to get the timing right is down special, immediately run off back air, up tilt and fruit throw behind you. You have to do this sequence as quickly as possible or you will be too late. Another method is to short hop down air off the hydrant, then hit the hydrant with a neutral air and again throw the fruit. It works with any fruit except for the key, but if you do it with the bell, not just the hydrant goes flying behind you, but also the bell itself. If you are slightly below a platform while spawning the hydrant, it will pop onto the platform with Pac-Man landing next to it instead of on top of it. From here, a really good way to prime the hydrant is using the platform drop cancelled up air we were showing you earlier. Then you can either knock the hydrant over with the usual methods, or just go for another up air like that, which is pretty practical. That is mostly it about the hydrant, but there is one more tech we want to cover in this video. If the pellet from Pac-Man's side special gets hit, it just drops to the ground with Pac-Man having almost no lag. The pellet can then be consumed for some healing. Now, you can use this to block certain projectiles and then consume the pellet, or you try parry healing. If Pac-Man's fruits or specific other items hit Pac-Man's shield, they bounce off of it. During that, they still have a hitbox, although not against Pac-Man because he shielded it. But what they can hit is the pellet from side B. So what you can do after shielding is jump towards the item, use side special, which gets cancelled immediately as soon as the pellet gets hit, and then use an aerial to catch the pellet right away for a nice little heal. It works even better after parrying, therefore parry healing. This is even more practical against Pac-Man's Hydrant, since that one is going to be tossed towards you quite a lot. Here you have to parry or it won't work, but on the bright side it also works while standing. Lastly, Pac-Man can do this. If you stand on the very edge, perform a side special and make a loop like that. Make sure you turn fast enough and hold down during the end. If you hold forward, Pac-Man will do a full loop, but if done right, he will bump into the ground. This is not very useful, but kinda fun. You can use it to edgeguard Crom or Ike, since get-up attacks are invincible, but then again, you could also simply forward smash them. Pac-Man is such a cool character, but if you don't know all his small tricksies, it can be overwhelming to play against or even to watch. Hopefully this video helps you understand him a little better or even inspire you to pick him up yourself. Again, big thanks to John Barrett and Skye for sharing all of their knowledge with us. You should definitely give them a follow on Twitter. As always, thanks for watching, see you soon and stay beefy.